Live gone wrong. Taehyung forgets he's being watched by millions. Was it an honest mistake or a PR move disguised as vulnerability? Why did BTS's Taehyung make a move that stunned even his most loyal fans? What really happened behind that awkward moment? Was it an accident or a calculated play to remind the world that even global icons can crumble on camera? It was supposed to be a routine interview. Another notch on the ever-growing belt of BTS's international media appearances. Another charming soundbite from the group's most enigmatic member, Kim Taehyung, known to billions as V. But what unfolded during that live radio show left fans gasping, laughing, and questioning everything they thought they knew about the artist they followed for over a decade. The moment was brief. Blink and you'd miss it. But it was captured, clipped, shared, looped, and dissected into viral immortality. A quick shift of posture, a tug on clothing, a misplaced assumption. Taehyung believed the broadcast was audio only and casually adjusted his clothes, completely unaware that he was, in fact, being broadcast live to millions of viewers.
No script.
No edit button. Just raw, unscripted reality. But as the clip spread like wildfire across platforms, from Twitter, now X, to TikTok, a deeper question began to rise. Was this a genuine mistake from a global superstar caught off guard? Or are we witnessing a subtle shift in the media machinery behind K-pop's most iconic figures? A shift towards showcasing imperfection as performance. The timing of the incident is suspiciously perfect. BTS, as a group, has been navigating a complex chapter. Military enlistments, solo debuts, shifting dynamics, and an ever-evolving relationship with their fandom, ARMY. In this environment of heightened sensitivity and global attention, even the smallest move can send shockwaves. So why now? Why this? Taehyung's radio mishap wasn't just a blip on a timeline. It was a crack in the polished marble statue of idol perfection. And that crack revealed something startling, something emotional, something real. But was it too real? Fans across the globe were thrown into emotional chaos. Some flooded timelines with messages of support, praising Taehyung's vulnerability and labeling the moment as endearing and refreshingly human. Others weren't so sure. Critics and skeptics suggested the incident felt too on-brand, perfectly imperfect, like a meticulously designed mistake meant to create virality, relatability, and buzz. Could a media team that orchestrated billion-dollar campaigns and museum-worthy performances really allow such a moment to slip through the cracks? And here lies the emotional heart of the controversy. Fans love BTS not just for their music, but for their perceived authenticity. The boys next door charm, the tears on stage, the nervous laughter during awkward interviews. But in an era where every second of footage is crafted to support a narrative, how do we know what's real anymore? It's a cruel paradox. Taehyung, the soft-spoken soul with a love for jazz, poetry, and photography, has always been considered the most introspective of the BTS members. A man of mystery, a walking contradiction, both an extrovert and an observer. But now, in the age of hypervisibility, his slip-up has raised more questions than answers. Is the mystery still his to protect, or is it now being weaponized? Let's not forget the cultural context. In South Korea, where celebrity image is meticulously curated and mistakes are rarely forgiven, Taehyung's moment was a cultural shockwave. Domestic fans expressed concern that such a display, even accidental, could tarnish not only his personal image, but reflect poorly on the group and the country's entertainment industry at large. The line between international relatability and domestic expectations is razor-thin, and Taehyung may have just danced across it, intentionally or otherwise. The backlash wasn't just limited to image-conscious netizens. Major news outlets picked up the story. Headlines screamed scandal, blunder, and humiliation. But buried beneath the noise was something quieter, more haunting. A reminder that fame is a cage of contradictions. That even global icons can forget where the cameras are. That perhaps, despite the glittering stages and historic records, Taehyung is still, at his core, just a man trying to breathe in a world that demands perfection. And that's where the story gets personal. For fans who have followed him through every milestone, His debut at just 19, his iconic solo stages, his emotional speeches, and now, his transition into a post-military reality. This moment wasn't just an embarrassing slip. It was a revelation. A flash of humanity so jarring that it broke the internet. But now, the silence is deafening. Taehyung hasn't directly addressed the moment. Neither has big hit music. The lack of official response has only intensified speculation. Is the silence an attempt to bury the incident, or a calculated move to let the moment live and breathe on its own? Either way, the audience is left suspended, desperate for answers. And still, the questions linger. What if the incident was staged, not out of malice, but as a way to reconnect with a fandom that increasingly sees their idols through the lens of algorithm-curated perfection? What if the mistake was real, but its aftermath is being manipulated to stoke engagement and humanize a man who now walks among myths? In the golden age of BTS, we cheered when they broke records, lit up stadiums, and shattered barriers. But now, in this new era of vulnerability, post-enlistment returns, and solo reinventions, perhaps the game has changed. Maybe it's no longer about being untouchable, but about appearing touchable, even when it's by design. And if that's the case, what does that say about the future of fame? About Taehyung's journey as an artist, a brand, and a human being, this wasn't just a wardrobe adjustment. It was a mirror, one that reflects not only Taehyung's rawest moment, but our own complicated relationship with celebrity. We want them to be perfect, but not too perfect. Relatable, but still aspirational. Honest, but never reckless. And now, with this moment etched in digital history, we're forced to ask, did we just witness an accident, or a carefully painted illusion of one? The truth may never be revealed, but the impact is undeniable. Millions watched.
Millions juged.
Millions felt something: confusion, empathy, suspicion, affection. That's the power Taehyung holds. That's the power BTS has built. And as the dust settles and the clip continues to circulate, perhaps the biggest surprise of all is that we're still watching, still analyzing, still wondering. In a world where every second is scrutinized, did Taehyung really forget he was being watched? Or did we forget that even stars are still human? The digital space has become a theater of emotions. And in this theater, Taehyung's live mishap was the sudden fall of a curtain, revealing not just the man behind it, but also the machinery of fandom, media, and perception. Every slow-motion replay of that second has turned into a tool for interpretation. Some fans see innocence, others strategy, but no one sees nothing. That, in itself, is the true shockwave. Days have passed, yet discussions rage on across fan forums, Twitter threads, reaction videos, and international media outlets. Reddit users analyze the body language. TikTok edits reframe the clip with different background music to either highlight the humor or intensify the awkwardness. YouTube commentators upload think pieces titled "The moment BTS's V showed us he's just like us," while others ask, was Taehyung's mistake really an accident? And all of it, every bite and bit, is feeding a frenzy that refuses to die. The moment is now more than just a moment. It's a mirror held up to a generation that consumes idols not just through music and performances, but through intimacy. Or rather, the illusion of intimacy. In this world, Taehyung doesn't just sing to you. He knows you. He posts photo dumps at midnight, shares blurry shots of his dog, speaks in quiet tones during weverse lives. You know his favorite painter, his love for saxophones, the fact that he likes the rain, SO when he slips. When he genuinely forgets the omnipresent eye of the camera, it's not just content, it's connection. But is that connection authentic or architected? Psychologists have long studied the effects of parasocial relationships, where fans form deep emotional bonds with public figures they've never met. BTS's global rise has redefined that phenomenon, with fans forming what they describe as real relationships, with members based on carefully curated online presence. But what happens when those relationships are tested by something as raw and unrehearsed as Taehyung's misstep? For some, it strengthens the bond. He's human. One fan posted on X, "I love him even more for this." But others weren't as forgiving. It's careless, Another user commented, "You're on a global platform. How can you just forget?" Others questioned the timing, noting how the incident conveniently occurred just as V's post-military solo comeback buzz was beginning to fade. Could this be a way to spark renewed interest? An organic-seeming mistake engineered for virality. And then, the conspiracy theories began to emerge. A few sharp-eyed netizens pointed out the camera angle.
It was too perfect, they said.
Framed too cleanly. Captured with just enough lighting to keep the details visible, but not scandalous. Suspiciously safe. Could the production team have known it would spark conversation? Was the broadcast really mislabeled as audio only? Or was that an assumption Taehyung made on his own? Was this really a fail or a subtle win in the game of engagement? It wouldn't be the first time a PR team leaned into controversy. In the age of digital currency, attention is more valuable than apology. And the numbers don't lie. The clip has now racked up over 120 million views across platforms, with engagement quadrupling on team-related hashtags since the incident. His name trended for 48 hours straight in over 30 countries. Meanwhile, fan theories continued to rise in volume, each one layered with emotional investment, with hope, with anger, and then came the silence from Big Hit. Fans expected a statement, even a small clarification, but none came. No official explanation, no apology, no behind-the-scenes footage to clear things up. This silence created its own noise. Fans were left to interpret the void, and in that vacuum, narratives multiplied. Perhaps the most powerful narrative of all was the idea that the incident was neither purely accidental nor purely strategic, but something in between.
A moment of lapse, yes.
But one that was seized and amplified because it could serve a purpose. Not in a malicious way, but in a way that reflects the complexities of being a global figure in a hyper-digital world. Mistakes, if framed correctly, can be branding gold, and that brings us back to Taehyung himself. This is a man who has always seemed caught between two worlds, the K-pop idol and the introspective artist. He's the one who slips away during rehearsals to photograph abandoned alleyways. The one who writes letters to fans and reads books instead of checking charts. He often seems burdened by the performance of fame. So, is it really so shocking that he might momentarily forget that fame follows him even into silence? There's something tragic about it, too. Because the real scandal might not be that he adjusted his clothing on camera. The real scandal might be that he can't even do that without the world demanding an explanation. A moment meant only for him, a breath, a shift, a second, was transformed into public property. And as fans, we consumed it, we dissected it, we branded it. This isn't just a live broadcast gone wrong. It's a symptom of a bigger truth. The lines between performer and performance have dissolved. Taehyung no longer exists just as a person. He is content, currency, narrative, whether he likes it or not. And yet, through all of this, the world still waits. Will he acknowledge the moment? Will he laugh about it in a future interview? Will he post something cryptic on Instagram, a black and white photo with no caption, as he's done before? Or will he stay silent, allowing the storm to swirl until it burns itself out? In the meantime, fans refresh their feeds. Theories evolve. Emotions fluctuate. Because deep down, we're all still waiting, not just for an answer, but for another glimpse of the man behind the myth. And perhaps that is what makes this moment so unforgettable. IT wasn't about clothes, IT wasn't about professionalism, IT was about vulnerability, real or curated. And in the end, maybe that's what makes us love him or question him even more.